Hello everyone, my name is Divya Ainindya. I am from the second semester of EK class and my student ID number is 21120210099. Today I'd like to explain to you why Mandarin should be a mandatory subject in junior high school. There is a Chinese proverb saying 活到老学到老, live until you're old and study until you're old. It's no secret that Mandarin is a pretty big deal not just in Asia but around the world. Accounting for 70% of Chinese speakers, Mandarin as a Chinese dialect is more widely spoken than any other form of Chinese with some 955 millions of native speakers globally. That is 14% of the world's total population. In fact, there are some more native Mandarin speakers in the world than any speakers of any other language. Mandarin dialects are spoken throughout the most northern of southwestern China. While written in Chinese began to take shape around 4,000 years ago, Mandarin started to develop in the 10th and or 11th centuries in northern China. And as the world became increasingly globalized, Mandarin has become the top language to study around the world and at every level. Starting early as kindergarten, schools in Indonesia are teaching their students Mandarin. Gearing up for increased business relations with China, it is never too late nor too early to start learning such a widespread language. There are many benefits of being fluent in more than one language, no matter what that language is. However, Chinese Mandarin is one of those powerful languages, being one of the most spoken languages that is believed to be one of many languages that have the most advantages to learn. Teaching kids Chinese Mandarin early on is setting them up for a brighter future. The first point why Mandarin should be a mandatory subject in junior high school is Mandarin gives us chances to have better prospect in job and college opportunities. Well, according to an article published on New York Times, China has surpassed Japan in the second quarter to become the world's second largest economy behind the United States, while the rest of the world will have to reckon with a new economic superpower in the very near future. Nicholas R. Lardy, an economist at the Peterson Institute for International Economics, stated that this phenomenon where China has been eclipsing Japan economically indirectly confirms what has been happening for the better part of the decade and that the Chinese are now the biggest trading partner rather than the US or Japan. Well, this is why education is critical for the workforce of the future and being bilingual can open up many career options. There are a huge number of jobs in education, healthcare, national security, translation, tourism, and international business require or favor candidates who are bilingual, resulting in higher job opportunities for those who can speak a second language. Moreover, speaking a foreign language can make it easier for you to be eligible for jobs and work study programs in other countries, especially if you have a critical skills. According to Washington Post, admission rates at top colleges are dropping drastically, only admits 5 to 5.3% of candidates. Even the state schools are becoming more difficult to get into. It is forecasted that this rate will continue to decline. It is crucial that children should start strategically plan out their education curriculum and how will they be different from the rest. With such fierce competition to get into good schools, one of the biggest and most common challenges a child faces is standing apart from thousands of other applicants. Most schools offer French or Spanish as an elective and most schools do not even have Mandarin classes offered. Being able to list a foreign language that is rarely listed on an application is a great way to distinguish oneself. The second point why Mandarin should be a mandatory subject in junior high school is because learning Mandarin challenges our way of thinking. Well, Chinese is a tonal language. Learning tonal language like Mandarin is easier for children. This is because young children are more sensitive to the differences in sounds. This familiarity with tones and sounds actually help cultivate musical abilities in children. A study at the University of California found a strong connection between the fluency in tonal language and the development of perfect pitch. So not only does learning Mandarin potentially benefit the brain, it potentially make the child sing better. Mandarin in the form of writing is made up of over thousands of characters. Learners of Mandarin have to be able to read and interpret a vast number of visual symbols. While in doing so, children are more likely to activate more regions of the brain than English, which relies on a phonetic alphabet. Through learning Mandarin, children can become more proficient at visual communication and more enthusiastically interpreting symbols in visual art and understanding the distinction in symbolism and visual communication. Various studies, such as from Lewis White, John Alton Ray, and Darrell Fisher, shows that there is actually a scientific association between learning Mandarin and improved mathematical ability. Because Mandarin involves learning the language, sounds, drawing, and math as a whole, hence, it activates more regions of the brain and improves cognitive development overall. This applies to adults too. In fact, speakers of Chinese use more of their brain at any one time. In short, this causes more balanced brain to lead to greater overall creativity, enhanced problem solving, and increased emotional intelligence. And the last point why Mandarin should be a mandatory subject is because by learning Mandarin, you have bigger chances to make new friends from around the world. Mandarin is considered a very hard language. Ask anybody who has tried to learn it. Me, as an example, if you ask how hard Mandarin is, big chance that I will respond, yes, it is. It is very hard that it makes me want to tear my hair out. As a result, anybody who managed to pick up such uh, difficult language will gain respect from the family, from their friends, and from the coworkers. It is such a prestigious skill, should I say. Despite being hard to learn, Mandarin really is a beautiful language. Mandarin has been developed for thousands of years, and it is really interesting to know more about the pictographic and ideographic and design. Every symbols or every characters in Chinese represent their meaning. And remember, Mandarin has about 1 billion native speakers around the world, including Indonesia. Who knows that you might meet a special someone with Mandarin? Well, before I close this presentation, I would like to say in conclusion that it is always good thing to be multilingual, and it is always the best thing to learn Chinese. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next chance. Goodbye.